the planning commission together on Thursday, January 15th, 2026, at 7 p.m. Stuart, would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Chris Crawley. Here. James Mitchell.
Here.
Patrick O'Brien.
Here.
John Cost. Here. Vivian Diggs.
Here.
Garfield Parker.
Here.
Alan Garland.
Here.
Roger McKinley.
Here.
Charles Williams.
Here.
Heidi Wilkins Court.
Here.
We have a quorum and all present.
All present, all right, okay.
James and Michelle's here too.
Recording in progress.
I'm working.
I got you, Stuart. I got you.
Fine, thank you. Would you all stand for invocation and pledge of allegiance, please? And I would ask Heidi if you believe us in the pledge when we get to it. Invocation. Father, thank you for this day. I pray for this United States of America. I pray for this Northumberland County, that we will continue to serve and do the job that we were put here to do. We ask your blessings tonight, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. First up is the election of officers.
I nominate Garfield Parker as chair.
Second.
Sounds like everyone's on one accord.
Any questions? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Nomination for vice chairman.
John Cost, if he's willing to serve, sir.
I will.
I'll second that.
All right. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, you got the job, okay. Okay. Stuart, do you want to go through the reviewing of the commission bylaws? Oh, first of all, do we set times, or are you gonna do that now?
It's entirely up to the planning commission, and they've had a chance to read it, and, you know, if you don't want to make any changes, it's not necessary to make any changes. We do need to adopt it,
Okay.
but, you know, the meeting dates and time, you know, if y'all want to change that, that's entirely up to your discretion as well. But we just need to adopt it, but I don't know, nobody's expressed any desire for changes.
Move approval of the bylaws as written.
Second.
Question? All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Review of a remote attendance meeting policy.
That's not really a review. As I told Mr. Parker earlier, that's kind of been formulated by the county attorney. It's just whether we want to allow that or not. So the vote is whether we want to continue to allow remote participation in certain circumstances that's outlined in the document.
Okay, all right.
Move that we allow Zoom meetings under circumstances laid out in the rules.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving right along. Do we need to approve through the meetings, date and time?
No, that's
Okay.
just
So it's done.
giving you the option.
You've seen the agenda that was sent out to you. Approval for the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay. I believe we have Mr. Brand with us tonight. You're our new representative?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Chairman, we need to adopt the minutes.
I'm sorry.
Approve the minutes,
Okay.
I mean.
All in favor of the minutes, approval of minutes?
So moved.
Second.
No, second.
Hold it.
What's his name?
Was there a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, Patty.
Mr.
Okay.
Bryan.
Was there a second?
Michelle, second.
Okay, is there a question? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Okay. Commissioners' comments? Any comments from the commissioners? Staff?
Mr. Parker,
Yes.
this is in the nature of a question. I read the statute on the comprehensive plan. The only agency that's mentioned in the comprehensive plan statute is the Department of VDOT,
Right.
and they have 90 days to object or approve.
Right.
They finally got back to Stewart well after the 90 days had expired.
Okay.
So I have two questions. One is, why don't we just send this forward at the expiration of the 90 days, whether they say anything or not? And secondly, it goes to other agencies.
Yes.
Is that just a tradition, a protocol, a regulation?
From what I understand, the other agencies have to approve, am I right, Stuart?
In the Chesapeake Bay Act, they have, in their section of the state code, they have to review the comp plan, so that DEQ is required to review it as well. But it's not in that section of state code, but
Okay.
DEQ is required to review it.
Is there any time limit on their approval or review or whatever?
I don't know, I think it's 90 days for all state agencies, but
That would make sense.
yeah, I think it's consistent. October 15th was the 90 days,
Which year?
Yeah.
2025.
Well, in the future, I would be inclined to say we send it forward to the Board of Supervisors when 90 days has expired, rather than dragging this out and maximizing the time the supervisors would have to review it.
Okay. Any other thoughts? So, how do you feel about that, Mr. Brand? You're chair.
I'm on board with that. The only thing that I would like to see you add to that, if you get no response from VDOT, please add that in some type of form of communication to the board. That yay, they have approved this, or no, did not respond to us, and so we have no guidance from VDOT at all. I think that would be very important to be documented in meetings.
Shouldn't that be applicable to all the agencies? Wouldn't you want to know whether they?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say with all of them.
I know, but you're dealing with state.
Oh, they got the 90
They're
days.
dealing with the county.
Right.
You know, they're on a clock just like we are.
Any other thoughts?
A clarification, Mr. Brand, would you like notification that it has been reviewed, or do you just want notification if it hasn't been reviewed? Or, I mean, would you like that additional detail?
I'd like to have in detail,
Okay.
whether or not it's been reviewed or not.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Also, if we start that and we give them that, a promise that we're going to, at the end of 90 days, we're going forward with this. So, I mean, maybe they'll
Prioritize it somewhat.
prioritize it to where they get their comments in if they really want them in there.
But it also gives us an opportunity, if we know that when VDOT comes before us, we can ask them a question on why they did not respond
Why they did
back
not comment. That's exactly.
to the planning commission in regards to the report.
Okay.
Fredericksburg reviews it, so it's the planning section of the whole district that's reviewing it. I didn't get any explanation for the delay, but I think the lady was new in her position. But next time we will, when we send it for review, we will say after 90 days, we're going to assume you have no comment.
Okay. Is that all right with everybody?
That might light the fire. Who knows?
Yeah. We don't need to vote on that or anything, do we?
No, I've got it written down. It'll be in the minutes.
Is there anyone online? Only the report. Okay, only the report, okay. All right. Staff, no comment. How about any citizens who want to speak on anything other than what's on the agenda tonight? Anybody from and welcome. Glad to have you. Yes, sir. Okay, same as report. Anything else? All right. Stuart, We ready to go to public hearing?
Yes, sir, let me go get the sign-in sheets and I'll go from there.
The box is on the floor. No, if I lay it down for a minute.
For sure.
But where the sign go? Well, it makes it a little bit easier. Okay. You can go ahead and just open it, Mr. Stewart.
Yes, sir. The first public hearing is a request by Benton M. Hayden, owner, and Michael Bryant, applicant for a conditional use permit to allow light industry on property zoned A1 agriculture. Property is shown as tax map 9 double circle 1 lot 23 and is located on Northumberland Highway.
In Lotsburg.
In Lotsburg, yes, sir. Very near the intersection of Lucetta Road in 360.
Okay. Is Mr. Hayden or Mr. Bryant here tonight? Would you like to come up and speak to it, or please give your name and address?
Yeah, I'm Benton Hayden. Michael Bryant. We've had EDA, Bobby Nelson, draw up the plans and all, so if anybody wants to
Okay.
look at them, or so,
Same plans you already submitted?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I don't know if anybody looked at them.
Yeah.
Mr. Hayden, can you kind of explain? Yeah, it's just going to be like a mulch yard. That's what we're calling it, a mulch yard. And the products that I make, crushed concrete, topsoil. It's just going to be a road front marketing.
Okay. Will you
place.
sell off of that property?
Yes,
Okay, so you'll have a sales office there?
yes.
Okay.
And it'll have bins all around. It's going to be 1 square acre.
Okay,
Drainage, infiltration trench down one side, so I won't be pushing water or anything to the neighbor. And we're gonna have concrete bins to dump in, and they'll have a fence around the whole place.
so you've had
So-
that engineered?
Yes, it's all on the plan, yes, sir.
Okay.
Will there be signage?
Probably on, yes. Yes.
Who will your customers be? They're going to be contractors that?
Yes.
Builders?
Yep,
Homeowners?
everybody.
Okay.
And there won't be a fence around it, it's just gonna be
No, it's gonna be a fence around the whole, yeah,
Chain link fence,
Yeah.
chain link?
yeah.
Okay.
In your application, you mentioned lighting, yard lighting, aerial. Are you going to set poles? Or?
Right, yeah,
Okay.
sonotube poles mounted.
Mr. Were there any conditional use involved?
Yes, sir.
Is Northumberland Highway 4 lanes there or 2? Are you having to have a?
All right, they just changed that.
It's a 2 lane down there.
Yeah, it was 4, and they changed it.
You're one of those?
to 45 through there.
Yeah, so you don't have to put in a right turn lane?
No, we've already confirmed with VDOT.
Okay.
Have you all seen the list from the county of the conditions that they want to put on your conditional use permit?
You seen that?
I think it said, meet, I read it briefly.
Okay,
You would go ahead and read it again that way.
but you agree with these?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like me to read?
Yes, yes, please.
Suggested conditions if approved. All necessary permits and/or licenses shall be obtained from all regulatory agencies included to, but not limited to, the Virginia Department of Transportation. Number 2, a sales office shall be located on the same parcel as the gravel mulch, et cetera, for all retail transaction as shown on the site plan. Number 3, this operation shall be kept clean, neat, and organized. Number 4, only vehicles or equipment associated with the operation of this business shall be stored on the property. Number 5, all signage shall comply with the zoning ordinance. Number 6, all lighting shall be non-reflective and directed downward to prevent any glare on Route 360 or adjoining properties. Number 7, all storage of dry goods shall not be in a cargo container. Number 8, non-compliance of any of these conditions shall result in this permit to come back before the Board of Supervisors for possible revocation.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, any questions?
No, I've read that before.
What will the shed be made out of that's on here?
It's probably just gonna be a portable, one of them, it's nothing gonna be built. It's gonna be a portable, you know, like 12 by 16 or 12 by 20 or something.
Vinyl sided, you know, shingles or metal roof.
Okay, so it's not something that's going to visibly rust like.
Oh, no.
No, sir.
The different products that you'll store here would be what, besides gravel, anything?
Mulch, field dirt, topsoil,
Crushed concrete,
concrete.
asphalt millings.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Do you have any more questions? All right, thank you. Thank you. It's open to the commission.
Has anybody complained about it? Or,
We've received no public correspondence, neither Philip nor I, any written or phone calls about this project.
How many neighbors were notified?
I can tell you.
Let me see.
How many?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
7, okay.
7 adjoining property owners, so,
Including Patrick.
yeah, including Mr. O'Brien.
Not there.
Okay, and you had no complaints or anything? No comments or anything?
I did not. I did have correspondence with an adjoining property owner who is here tonight.
Okay. And the adjoining property owner is here?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. Any comments?
Not really, just keep it neat and clean.
Okay. All right, I'm going to close this part of the public hearing and turn it over to the commission. Anything you'd like to add or take away?
I would like to make a motion that is made in due consideration of the administrative record before the body, including the Planning Commission's deliberations and recommendations, the information received via the public hearing, including statements offered by staff, the applicant and members of the public health and safety, the general welfare of the community, public necessity, convenience in the exercise of good zoning practices and the body's legislative prerogative, and pursuant to the body's statutory authority, I recommend that it be approved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
So this is the first step. The next step is be sent to the Board of Supervisors, and they will perform a similar request to tell what the project is about. And again, there'll be another public comment period, and they will actually make the decision on whether to allow this conditional use permit or not. We're just a recommending body that tells them how we feel about it, so it's up to the board to make a decision, but that should be scheduled next month.
Will you be sending us a date for that meeting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That'll come from Philip.
All right, thank you, commission.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
good luck.
Thank all y'all.
Glad to see you all
Have a good
doing
one.
business here.
All right, have a good night.
All right. Number 2, go ahead, Mr. if you will.
Yes, sir. The second public hearing scheduled for tonight is a request by Adam M. and Lauren S. Garber, owners, for a conditional use permit to allow a vacation home rental on property zoned R3 residential restricted. The property is shown as tax map parcel 45B, double circle 3, block 4, lot 20, and 45B, double circle 3, lot Block 1, Lot 9 at 109 Bayshore Avenue in Fleeton Beach subdivision.
Okay, and Mr. Gerber here, fine, would you like to come on forward?
All right, nice to meet you all. Adam Garber. My wife and I recently bought this house beginning of December in Fleeton Beach. While we're new to Reedville, we're not new to Northern Neck, because my in-laws had a place up here for about 10 years. So we enjoyed coming up here and been excited to get a place up here for a few years now. So I just want to stress, we plan to primarily use this as a secondary residence. We have 3 kids. And obviously when it gets a little warmer, it'd be a much better use with the kids up here. But we'd like the opportunity to rent it as well when our kids have baseball tournaments and sporting events, and we can't get down here on the weekends, and I work some weekends as well. So it'd be nice to have that opportunity to rent it when we can't use it ourselves personally. I sent a letter to their neighbors. I don't know if that was included in the material, just for them to reach out to us directly if they have any problems or issues. We have a big, large driveway, so it fits more than 4 cars, so it shouldn't be a disruption to the roads getting in and out. Then we have a waterfront lot in the front of the house that has a beach. So we can instruct anyone that's renting the house to not use the community beach a block away and just use that beach and not disrupt anyone else. So
You're aware that several other rentals are in the same street?
I know there's one at the end of the street, a couple houses down. I don't know of any other ones.
We just approved one a few months ago.
I think that's the one, yeah. A couple down, we met them a few weeks ago.
Okay.
When you go down Fleeton Beach, you turn in off the Fleeton Road and you go straight down to the water. Are you to the left or to the right?
To the left.
To the left.
Mm-hmm.
How many houses down are you from that?
About 3.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a 3-story building, a tall one there.
Yep, we're 1 down from that.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
He wants to know because he has a paper route. So
Yeah.
All right.
Did you have any response from your neighbors when you sent out the letter?
I didn't know. We've tried to meet a few of them, but not many of them have been down there over
It's
the
time
winter
of the
time.
year, yeah, I understand.
Did you get a copy of the conditions that Mr. Marston
Yes.
drew up?
Mm-hmm.
Any objections on any of them?
No, not at all.
where's your full-time residence?
Richmond.
Okay.
On the other side of the road, is a piece of property that go with your lot on the other side of the road as well?
It does, yes.
Nice, yeah.
Any other questions? All right. Are you, someone already asked about conditional use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is this enforced, or this is something that you're thinking about?
We have to approve it.
The conditions,
Yeah.
they're part of the conditional use permit. If any of them are not followed, then they could be sent back to the Board of Supervisors for revocation of the conditional use permit.
And you are familiar with these 13?
Yes, Philip sent it to us.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Turning over to the hands of the commission.
Go ahead, we should go ahead and open up the public hearing, even though there's nobody there.
All right.
We'll open it and close it, basically, but.
Okay, so I'm opening up the public hearing.
And maybe we check online in case somebody logged on.
Just to report it. Anybody else? Just to report it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we can close the public hearing.
Close the public.
Move the public hearing be closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Now it's into hands of the commission. All right.
I have a question for Philip. Have you had any comments from anybody?
I have not, no, sir.
None. Awesome.
So is there any, have you had any problems? I know you had special conditions, but any other renters in that area? Any complaints or anything?
I have not received any complaints from any of the vacation rentals that have been approved.
Okay. Well, this time of year would be kind of difficult anyway, so. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Good letter, by the way.
Questions?
Just curious, how's the revenue collection coming in? I know you said one time, Stuart, I think that the Airbnb was kind of slow to pay. Has that picked up?
Yeah, I've not talked with Todd lately, but he said they were dragging their feet at the beginning, but then he started to get monthly stipends and deposits from them. But I haven't talked to him lately. But the problem that Todd and other localities have is that Airbnb doesn't itemize the bill. They just give them a number, give you a number, and you can't. There's no way to verify how many that's being used and whether it's the same one being rented over and over, or there's a whole bunch of different ones. So it's a little bit of lack of data for the county to understand how the rental is. But I'm sure we welcome the revenue.
Now, is that private wells, well-drilled wells, or?
I'm not sure. Mr. Marston, is Fleet and Beach served by public water?
Served by sewer?
Sewer, but well, otherwise, private well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a well out right on Washington when you come here. Or that's
Okay.
Chesapeake Beach, but anyway.
Any other questions?
I've been there. It's a very attractive place. And I hope you do really well, because you have the bay shore in front and you have the cove in the back where you can have a pier. And it's really an unusual piece. I wish you the best of luck with that.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend the Board of Supervisors approve this conditional use permit. And can I see that piece of paper?
Here it is, right here.
And this motion is made in due consideration of the administrative record before the body, including the Planning Commission's deliberations and recommendations, the information received via the public hearing, including statements offered by staff, the applicant, and members of the public health and safety, the general welfare of the community, public necessity, convenience, in the exercise of good zoning practices and the body's legislative prerogative, and pursuant to the body's statutory authority.
Second.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay.
So the same thing as before. The next step is you pretty much have to do this again in front of the Board of Supervisors. So just, yeah.
Okay.
And you've got one of them here already, so.
All right. Okay, moving down to work session items.
Yes, sir. As you all know from our correspondence, VDOT was a little bit slow to drag their heels on reviewing the comp plan, but we did get that information. And I didn't know how much you all wanted to put in that, and whether you all want to pick and choose. So I guess we just want to open up for discussion. And I can bring that up on the screen. The first comment she had was an error with regards to the route number in a shortcut from Hyacinth to Village, and I will definitely make that correction. That's easy. Bike path and sidewalk goals are not included. I don't know how feasible the county has money to do any sidewalk goals or partners with VDOT. I've not heard any citizens clamoring for new sidewalks or anything of that nature. One of the things about VDOT and the new funding formula, it's a scoring system, and you have to have a minimum average annual daily trips. Basically, it's mainly geared for the urban localities that have congestion, and if we were to submit any projects, unless it was a safety project, there's no way we would get any funding down here, because majority of it goes around the Fredericksburg and Stafford County areas. So, I'm okay with putting in the whole VDOT structure here and the V-Trans plan and the smart scale and basically just explaining how the funding cycle works in there. And regarding the 6-year improvement plan, normally we hardly have anything on there. It might be a bridge or something like that. This year, well, last year they approved it, Forest Green Road. There were cost sharing on that to fix a section of that that's really worn out and really in need of redoing. But you know, it's up to y'all how much detail we want to put in here. It's kind of a non-issue because we're not going to get any funding. They wanted us to take out the 4-lane, that we wanted 4 lanes from Eastville to Reedville. And in the past reiterations of the comprehensive plan, when I worked on the Planning District Commission, the supervisors really wanted to keep that 4-lane in there. And it's under the current funding formula and the scoring criteria is really, I don't see any way it's going to happen. But if you don't have it in there, there's definitely no way it's going to happen. So it's up to y'all whether y'all want to leave that in there or what, or how you want to go forward and add additional information to fulfill their requests. But you know, it's up to you.
I think the most pertinent bullet in here was the one that says little to no transportation recommendations included besides the bike and the pedestrian stuff. And having said that, and having actively been involved in editing it, I would agree, and therefore let's just leave it alone. For the simple reason is, my view is, you know, we've got lots of issues in this county. Transportation is not one of them. Our roads work, you know, by and large, DOT does a nice job of keeping the maintenance up. I don't think that we spent any time talking about what could we improve from. I mean, Supervisor Long keeps talking about improving doing something about the number of cars coming out of the school parking lot. The data doesn't support that. I suggested maybe a flyover so that, you know, $5-6 million should nail that with no problem. But aside from that, I can't think of anything that we didn't touch in there. They are correct. There are recommendations, and there's a reason for that. We don't see anything likely to happen, nor any immediate needs. That being said, there's a couple of things in there where there did need to be corrections, so that's fine. But other than that, I frankly am not worried about making any changes to this one and would encourage us not to bother.
So all that other supposedly monies goes to another locality then?
Well, unless we submit a project to the Smart Scale program and have them review it, I mean, we'll get the normal allotment that they have for repaving and things of that nature. But as far as a Smart Scale project actually has to be a known quantity, you have to have a defined area and the improvements you want to make to a certain section of highway. And normally VDOT alerts you when that's a problem. And the 6-year plan does have several places in Northumberland County that are safety concerns. One of them is right out here in front of Subway. Right. That intersection, because it's just a wonky angle. And I think there's one up at Hampton Hall too as well. You know, the funding formula really works against rural localities.
What a shock.
And there's no crisis. I mean, people are not dying on our roads, as near as I can tell.
Just for our information, did VDOT ever come on board with the Hampton Hall project?
Yes, sir. I thought I had updated you all. We received a grant from the Northern Neck Planning District Commission Tourism Commission to basically get an engineered entrance and have an engineer submit an entrance plan to VDOT. You know, when we talk about all things conditioning, in order to access a highway, you have to have an entrance plan. And we received that from EDA, sent it to VDOT, they reviewed it, and made a couple of very small changes, but they said we do not need a turn lane. And so the site distances were far enough, so we have an approved plan, and we hope to ask the next board meeting see if they want to go forward and build that entrance before VDOT changes their mind. And get that moving forward.
Has the roadway been cleared down through the middle?
I mean, it was cleared of brush. I haven't been there this spring.
I
But,
just drove by it the other day, and it looked like you could see down to the creek.
oh yeah, well, we paid a couple $1,000s to have it cleared last year, but of course it grew up over the summer. But it's not woody vegetation. It should be
Okay.
able to be bush hogged pretty easily. But there is the road bed is been there for a couple hundred years, and it's sturdy. I mean, there's a base to the road there. It shouldn't take much to build the road, but the first step is to get the entrance, and then we can build the road. We had envisioned a 5-car parking lot there. And so I would suggest probably we build the road and the parking lot at the same time.
And the entrance, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, yes, sir, that's, we've gotten the green light for that.
Stuart, what do you need from us in terms of this? You said there's one or two maybe changes that need to be that are just minor stuff. I don't think we need to add any data. Do you need anything from us before moving this thing along?
Well, I'd like to talk to you about the bicycle trails, and I kind of think we should kind of just have 2 sentences about V-Trans and Smart Scale, if that's all right with you, but just so we're not, so at least we recognize what the current system is.
We're not ignoring it.
Right.
Yeah,
So do
I
you
agree.
want to make some changes and recommend those to us at the next meeting, or what do you want to do?
Well, yeah, that would work for y'all.
I'd suggest if he's available, we give the drafting and editing to John, and he can present it, working in tandem with you, Stuart.
However y'all like to do it.
These changes are so minor, but I'm leaving the country for 3 weeks on Saturday, so I'm not pretty much available unless Stuart needs my help.
I can do that. If you have them, if it's okay with the commission, I'd like to show the bicycle trails.
Yes.
Because there was errors with that, and I don't know how that skipped by, but.
Before we get into the bicycle trail, we are going to leave it in the 4-lane highway request in our plan? Okay.
Can I add something while we're talking about VDOT? And I don't know if this fits into the comprehensive plan or not, but I know Mr. Long brings up frequently the traffic. And I can speak from the sheriff's office point of view, because I just did our statistics. We worked the traffic, school traffic, I think it was 360-ish times in 2025. On the rare occasion, which there may be a dozen, where our guys aren't available to work traffic, it is a mess. And if you have to work it by yourself, especially in the morning, it is very dangerous. Because that's been me a couple of times last year. And it's just a matter of time before you have it's going to be a low speed, but before you have a head-on collision. Especially when you've got one person out there. It's the drivers in the morning this time of year can't see you with the sun low in the sky. And it's if we weren't there, getting all those cars out of there would take an hour. And occasionally we are not there. And it's bad. So I don't know if that would fit somewhere in this.
VDOT has been asked about that at least 4 supervisor meetings, and the Department of Transportation has come back and said, we did a study and there is not sufficient traffic to justify a traffic light. We could do a roundabout at our cost, probably well in excess of $1 million.
Well, I would like to invite them to come stand out there
Yeah.
at 7:30 in the morning, in the middle of all that traffic, and then see what they think.
Can I ask you a question? Are they honoring the speed limit there to the most part?
When they pay attention, yeah. For the most part, yes.
When they see a cop car there.
When they see the cop car there, then they...
It's way
adhere to
worse in the morning.
Really?
Yes.
People try to drop their kids off and they go.
Yeah, like I said, you know, if you're coming eastbound, a lot of times you're totally blinded by the sun. They're in a hurry to get their kids to school. And, you know, I don't want to say that they don't listen to the deputies. A lot of times they just don't pay attention. Multiple times a year, we have deputies brushed by side view mirrors for people just not paying attention. So it's like, I'm going to say it, it's a matter of time before something happens there. Anyway, I didn't know if that would fit with this, or I just wanted to put that on record.
You guys are standing that really fits in, so.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
What do we think the fix is? Because I'm new to this, so.
If you look at Middlesex, their St. Clair Walker is kind of the same setup. They're on a main highway, but you have to pull off of the main highway to access the schools, similar to how we have on Academic. Now, that is a 4-lane highway there. But they have a stoplight, and my thought would be a stoplight that functions like the one in King William does by the firehouse.
Right.
It's on when it's necessary to be on. It's on for that hour in the morning, and it's on for that hour in the afternoon. But it's a lot of money. I get that.
It's $1 million roundabout.
And a roundabout takes up a lot of room.
Yeah.
And people don't know how to drive in around.
They don't, they do
They
not.
do not. They'll cause you more problems.
When you say it takes a lot of money, do you have a ballpark?
I don't. I know I was told when they did the last one here, 20 years ago, it was $1 million. So who knows now?
That's what Mr. Beal from DOT said.
Yeah.
About the traffic light, what would be the cost of that?
That's
That's what they were talking
$1
about.
million?
Yeah.
It was $1 million 20 years ago, which means it would be what, $3 million now?
That seems excessive.
I could be wrong on that, but that's.
Seems unreasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems excessive.
But it does seem to be something we should put in the comprehensive plan. I mean, if we want to have a 4-lane highway that we know we're not going to get, it's a plan. It's something that we need. It's something that we would like to have for the safety of our children and our deputies. To me, it belongs in the comprehensive, I mean, that particular issue we should find a way to address that in the transportation section.
Okay.
It's not saying we'll get it, but it's like Stuart said, if they ever decide they're gonna give us money for the 4-lane, if it's not in our comprehensive plan,
They'll never think
step
about
one
it.
is already lost. So I think step one is to have it in the comprehensive plan as something we would like.
I can write language and a recommendation for it. That would include a recommendation box, as you would know.
Thank you.
Hey, Bob. No, go ahead.
We ready, I mean, I don't want to stifle any conversation.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the 2003 Comprehensive Plan Bicycle Trail Map. Back in the time when this was done, the Planning District Commission had a transportation planner. And he basically drove the county and decided which roads that were a little bit less traveled that might be good for bike trails. So when the next reiteration was in 2016, in 2015, and that's what we had, and I didn't change it. That's the same map that was in there that they reviewed. So the title of the map is Bicycle Trails, and in parentheses, Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail. In actuality, any of those trails south of the Great Wacomico are not Potomac Natural Heritage Scenic Trail. So anyway, I modified this map, and if you all agree, we can put the new map in, but let me show you the new map that I created that has just the Potomac. So it's much more sparse than what we had before, but it is a Potomac Heritage National Scenic Trail. I called Lisa Hull at the Planning District Commission to refresh my memory of the past efforts in bike trails. And I asked her about the other trails that we had designated south. And she said, you know, there's no signage there. There's no bike lanes. She said, if I was the county, I would probably just go with the Potomac Trail because it does have signage on it. And there is a website that talks about traffic and that you need to be careful. And it's rural, small, 2-lane roads and things of that nature. So if it's okay with the Planning Commission, I'll swap out the old map that has all the extra trails and just use this new map that I created with just only the Potomac Trail on it.
I agree, sir.
Yeah.
Does that trail include going over the Ophelia Ferry?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I thought that's what it looked like.
And it also has a spur. It's kind of hidden by the shield here, but it's got a spur that goes out to Vermar Beach as well.
Okay.
And when we were submitting it, we also had a spur that went to the, I can't remember what the wharf is across from Bundick, but there's a road here, right here, that goes to the road across from the Bundick Wharf
Right.
on the cone.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name.
Rose Landing.
No.
No, it was the other steamboat. One of them went to Norfolk and one of them went to Baltimore. And anyway, they didn't put that in there. But anyway, we do have the Vermar Beach. And so this cleans it up, and it is what the title says now.
And this doesn't cross the school entrance on Academic Way. It's not part of the problem, is it?
No, it comes out Dodlet, goes across 360 and out Spring Road.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Southern tip of that's in Reedville, right?
Yes, it ends in Reedville, downtown Reedville. Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else to it?
Yeah, the Department of Forestry sent us additional updated data, and I don't know if you had a chance to look at it. I think it's pretty interesting because it basically spans the time since the last comprehensive plan update. It's got data from 2014 to 2024. So it kind of shows the trends, and I'm not sure how much of this, I mean, it talks about different types of forest products, pine hardwood mixed. It even goes down to pulpwood and saw timber, and then goes down to the species. So I'm not sure we need all that detail, but I think it's kind of important to put something in here to in the comprehensive plan to show how that forestry is an important segment of our economy. So I don't know if y'all have any, I mean, total volume seems to be like something that would be interesting to put in there and show that what has changed since 2015. I'm not sure we need to put in, well, it's up to you what you all like to put in there.
So
but
one option, for simplicity's sake, would be to take the table in its totality and add it to the very end of chapter 1.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Because chapter 1's the status quo. This is all about the current state of affairs, so it fits perfectly if it fits on the page.
Yeah, I can reformat it if I have to.
Okay.
And I'll put it at the end of chapter 1. Could I get that in a motion?
Seriously?
Okay, never mind.
It wouldn't be that. I move the addition of the data supplied by the Department of Forestry to be added to the draft comprehensive plan, and it would be at the end of chapter 1.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I can get those done and bring it back to the next meeting. I don't know if y'all want to talk about the animal shelter. We are going to schedule, I think Mr. Cost is going to invite friends at the next meeting.
I can give you an update.
Yeah. I mean, I did some mapping for the site, some additional mapping for site analysis, if y'all like to look at that. If you
Well,
Why don't we get an update?
That's fine.
So I spoke to Peter Williams, who is the project manager. He's on the board of the FNCAS or whatever it's called. He's not the president, but he's the one who's responsible for this project. I told him what the discussion was at the last meeting and what we expect them to bring back, which includes desired footprint for the physical building.
Right.
And the issue of how much overall land space they expect to need, and any other physical features that we need to take into consideration. And ideally, even if they have plans from another jurisdiction where they've already got something of roughly equal size, they're very eager to come and hear from us and work with us at the next meeting. Very receptive to everything. I did say, look, big question is going to be not the cost of the building, it's going to be cost of the site development.
Right.
So you guys need to figure out how much money you've got. Calculating the cost of a building is no big deal. It's the site plan stuff. So you guys need to figure out where you're going to be on that, because right now the county's a little short of cash. And he was very receptive to everything, took notes, and he said, we'll be there.
What did he think about extending the Horsehead site, where it is now?
He was perfectly open to that. I said, the challenge with that, according to the plan map we had, was that there's a big gully running through the middle of it, so there may be limitations in terms of the building footprint. Supervisor Fisher asked me the other day, would it be possible to do some land swap at the property just west of the Horsehead site, which is currently flat farmland?
Right.
And maybe get some acres there, because it is completely flat. I said, we can certainly talk to the owner. The challenge is going to be those swamp info. Because if he wants to farm it, and the land we're going to give him is going to be gully in it, nobody's a winner on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he'll be here, and they'll have hopefully a lot more data for us to take a look at.
Who is the adjoining landowner?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering if it was one of Mr. Harris's properties. I have to look into that, but I don't know.
West of it?
Yeah.
I'll check it.
Okay,
Bring it to
great.
next meeting.
Perfect.
So the animal shelter properties, I created a suite of maps here that basically overlay each other and should be, let me see, I got the PDF, let me get the JPEGs. It'd be a lot easier. So this is the site with the aerial photograph, and you can see down on the bottom, this is the transfer area, this is the actual animal shelter. Behind it is the wood pile, and there's also an antenna there. Luttrell also told me that there's a septic system back there, and I did not have time to talk to the health department, but I will talk to the health department and find a location of that septic system, because I don't think we should build a road over a septic system.
When he says there's a septic system back there,
Interior, away from the dump, away from the wood, and offset from the tower. So I think it's northwest of the building, but I don't know that.
any idea how far up?
No, I'm looking at the plans from VDOT, and I'll map that out. So, of course, you're familiar with the aerial
It
photo.
won't be far up, because there's trees all over there, so they couldn't put a septic system with trees.
Depends when they put it in.
That's true.
So, as I mentioned, y'all familiar with the topographic map here, and it's kind of hard to visualize with the elevation contours. So I created, we have LiDAR. So I created a LiDAR map, which kind of helps show the property visually and understand what we're talking about here. As you can see here, we've got this disturbed area. That's where the wood pile is. So the antenna is about right here. And these brown places, that's the gully to access this portion. And if you recall at the last meeting, I said this is about 5 or 6 acres, this white area that's relatively flat. And I'm not sure that's enough acreage for them. If we can go through the first gully, which is about 40 feet deep, the second gully is only about 20 foot deep. They probably will need a culvert, I don't know, but there's like 15 acres back, or 11 to 12 acres back here. again, necessitates building a road, engineering a road, cutting the timber, et cetera, et cetera. And the site prep, like Mr. Call said, I think they got an idea of the cost for the building, but I don't think they have an idea of the total development cost of this. Because stormwater is another big thing that, if it's a commercial building, DEQ handles that. So anyway, so that's a different way to visualize the elevation. I also did a wetlands map, and there's the one stream behind the wood pile, but the gullies that we need to cross are not wetlands in the National Wetlands Inventory. It doesn't mean they may not be seasonal wetlands, but they're not registered in the National Wetlands Inventory.
Now, what body of water is that at the top?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I think it might be, I don't know. It's one, I can find out.
Is that the one that flows into Sidner's Mill Pond?
No, it's not.
Does that have an ebb and flow, or is it just stream one way?
No, it's fresh water. All this is fresh water. Freshwater forested shrub wetland is, and then riverine is this one section up here. In addition, I did a septic map, and as expected, the areas where it's flat is good. And so the two hummocks that we talked about are there, and then the gullies are a little bit not, they have the soils that are wet more. So the final map I did is shrink swell, and that doesn't seem to be a problem. Again, the good soils are on the top where you want to build at.
Well, because of the gullies, wouldn't we need to fence in any land that they would allow the dogs to run on?
Well, yeah, I think they want an outdoor exercise fenced-in area. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that they're asking for.
That's going to drive the numbers up.
Oh, yes, sir.
That's the problem. Now, the fenced-in area itself is going to be one thing, right? I think their ambitions might be a little bit grand on it. They're talking about 10 acres for that, which is a pretty big fenced area. Well, we'll see.
Mr. Marston and the building official made me aware that there are veterinary guidelines for minimum facility requirements. So I'm hoping that if they do get a building site plans from another locality, that's already been vetted with the Department of Veterinary Medicine, because there are specific guidelines that also drive up the price for animal shelter.
And by the way, I stand corrected. The creek, that body of water does flow into Scissor Mill Pond.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Does it say what the name of the creek is?
Well, ultimately, that's Hull Creek, which is where I live,
Has there been any discussion with I wasn't at the board when they made their presentation to the Board of Supervisors, but is there discussion too about what we're going to do with the old building? Is it going to be removed? Is it going to be reused? Or is it going to be another abandoned building in the county?
Get into that. They were going to go into more detail, but it was all conjecture on their
Okay,
part.
somewhere in the planning, we can't just walk away from buildings and leave them. And so I think that they or the county needs to be cognizant of the fact that we're either going to reuse the building or it's got to be removed
That's why I
or
suggested
something. And
the
there's
Board
a
of
cost to
Supervisors
that.
Send this to us and not try to deal with it themselves, yeah.
Right, and there's a cost to that. And so it goes in the overall project cost, and I think we all need to be considerate of that.
It's interesting. Any more comments on the animal shelter?
Stuart, did you give any consideration to the parcel on Dotlet Road?
Yes, sir. I did the same sort of maps for those if you'd like, and I also have an update for the Planning Commission. The board last year asked me to contact the Department of Historic Resources to inquire about an archaeological survey. I've done that, and one of the staff people from the Historic Resources said that they would be, well, I told them we're looking for the cemeteries and we want to protect any artifacts that are there and before we move forward with any kind of development plans. And he said that he could come down for a site visit and that he was pretty sure he could locate where the cemeteries are and where the old buildings were. And I said, I emailed him back, I said, this is at no cost, right? Because I've not been authorized to spend any county funds. He said, yes, it's pro bono, that's what we do. So I've not set that date. But sometime this month or early next month, I hope for them to come down and walk the property with us. And this is the time to do it, because I did it in August, and it's not fun out there in August.
No.
Did Prosser proud to do that in the past? Didn't Prosser write a book about graveyards in Northumberland County or something like that?
Yeah, Bruce Craig is the one that, for the Historical Society, that wrote specifically about the poorhouse. And they don't have any maps or anything about there was the caretaker's house, there was the dormitory, and multiple sheds. And they had, I think, a stall for animals and things of that nature. The staff person from the Department of Historic Resources emailed me a snapshot of a 1937 USGS topographic map. And it showed 3 dormitory-style large buildings, this is black squares on it. And they were pretty much located in the field to the right of the radio tower. So if that's where they are, they've been plowed for hundreds of years. So I'm not sure there's anything there left, but we will see when I meet with the Historic Resources. So from what Mr. Craig told me, the Historic Society person, the property to the west of Dobblet Road was added at a later date, and the original courthouse tract is east of the Dobblet Road, where Kirkland Grove is and where the radio antenna is. So I'm thinking that the west part of that property could be used without, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah. Once we get the historic resource. But if y'all like to look at the maps for the topography,
The property is west, what's the acreage roughly?
I think it's about 40.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but when you see the map, the total acreage, it's deceiving. But we all have gullies in here, and so this thing's being hard to get along with. So again, this is the regular topographic map. Dobblet Road bisects the property for the most part. Kirkland Grove, it comes out through here, and the topographic map shows forest and green, and the white areas are open land. It shows a couple of buildings here. That's about where the antenna is. So that's a topographic map. As you can see, we have drop off and stream on this side and drop off and stream on that side. So the LiDAR, again, is easier to visualize for a lot of people.
That's a lot of flat road frontage.
Yes, it is. And you can see kind of where the road to the radio antenna tower is, and the grading perhaps for the road here.
Well, so where your cursor is right there up in there in that brown on the west side, that stays wet, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Well, next time I can get the state, when they fly their aerial photographs, they have infrared photos, and those really show up wet spots. So wet spots show up as black, basically. So I'll do an IR photo to check for wet spots.
That is a lot of road, it's a lot of acres.
So you can see it's relatively flat, but then there's these steep drop-offs on both sides. And the farm field's about right here.
They're pretty far back.
And the highest elevation is 122, which is down in the south of the map. And then it goes down to 7 feet, but that's outside of the view of this. So again, on this side, it looks like next time I didn't have time to measure the acreage, but I'll try to measure acreage of where I think is a buildable and flat enough to build on section of it.
I don't recall how many acres they asking for.
I'm sorry?
How many acres are they asking for? I don't recall.
They're talking roughly 20. But
20 is what I thought.
I think that was a bit of a Christmas tree, if you wish, at this point.
Yeah, with the 10-acre running area, yeah.
Yeah.
When they done their presentation, they were asking for 15.
So they're flexible to some degree. Isn't
That's what we're talking about.
going back
Yeah.
to the previous map, aren't the archaeological sites actually on the,
Other side of the road.
in the white, in the white, but pretty far back, correct?
Yes, sir. I'm not sure how far it is, but it's a good 500, 600, 700 feet at least. Now, the radio tower does have guy wires, and that's something I need to coordinate with Luttrell about, whether they lease just the area inside the fence, or whether the stanchions for the guy wires are the extent of their property, but we need to know where their property ends and ours begins, so.
Where's the radio tower on that map?
Approximately right here, about right there, at the highest point, 100 foot.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
It's about right here.
By those two dots right there.
Got it.
Where the, right about where the two dots are there.
Maybe if we have to work around guy wires, the animal shelter could start taking in monkeys too, since they'll have some.
You were helped.
I also did a septic and a shrink swell map as well. And as expected, the drainage ways are poor. Of course, the steepness also has a problem. And the areas that are currently being farmed are good, and that's because they're good drainage. If you look over on the west of the side, it is fair when it comes to septic suitability, and that could be because of the wet spots. And then I did a shrink swell as well, and it doesn't show anything too problematic. The only problems, well, there's no low. It's basically moderate shrink swell soils there. So.
There's plenty of room there.
Good job as always, Stuart, on the maps. Thank you. Very helpful.
And Dodlett Road on those maps is running through the middle of the two parcels?
Right.
Yes, sir. It's
That's what I thought.
basically bisecting it.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a nice spot. On the left side.
I would imagine it would be least expensive for the site to be built out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's just back off of 360.
Yeah. Which is better than the dogs, actually.
Yeah. Now you gotta come up with something to do with that building.
Storage shed.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, they
We've got enough abandoned
probably
buildings.
go through an insane amount of animal food in a month.
You know, just sitting here today, that Dollar Road looks like almost a no-brainer for a site.
There's no power up there.
It's not hard to do.
And even if it's good soil, building a road is very expensive. I mean, I don't know the cost, but I would think probably a quarter mile, close to $250,000.
Why would you need to build the road at all?
Which parcel are you talking about, Stuart?
Poorhouse tract.
You gotta build a road.
I mean, you have to build some section of road. I mean, the county setback from the zoning ordinance says you have to be 65 feet from the center line of the highway, so at least 65
Oh, yeah,
feet.
you gotta have a road,
But when you build next to the road, then you kind of block off access for part of the parcel, but, you know, that, if it
Well,
was,
you'd need ideally space for a parking lot
well,
right off the road.
I think it would be prudent to consider possible future uses of the land and perhaps have a
That
stub
might
off,
be.
have a road that goes to their parking lot and a stub off so that we could extend the road to another parking lot for a trail if that's what we want to do in the future, but just have the option to be able to extend that road when we put it in the first time.
So how much road are we talking about, would you guess?
Well, I mean, I would think at least a couple hundred feet. Very cool. But, you know, getting electricity in there and the road, it's cost that I'm not sure that the animal shelter people are thinking about. They seem to be focused on the building, and that's a third of the cost, I think.
Except for there, to some degree, the land on Dotlet Road is pretty cleared, right? I know there are some woods around it, but,
On the west side of the Poorhouse Tract is completely forested. The only open spot is once you go to the east side.
right, that's what I'm talking about.
Where that white,
And
that white section.
that field is actually, the county gets revenue from a farmer for leasing that field to farm that field. So there's revenue generated. Not, I mean, you know, what is it?
Yeah.
$100 an acre or $50, I'm not sure exactly
Sell the
what the rent
timber,
is.
we need more.
Corn rent is. But that's one of the things, if you recall, when we reviewed the county properties in 2023, when we said investigate selling, we wanted to make sure that we're not getting revenue off that, or that it could be paying for itself a little bit, but that's something to consider when you do decide to sell something like
Yeah,
that.
which is what the Economic Development Committee wants to do. Because as they apply for grants, unless there's a matching grant of some kind, they're not gonna get anything.
Right.
And like you said, there's timber there, there's, you know,
Well, I mean, if we're trying to generate money, that's what I would consider is once we get the Department of Historic Resources out here, to consider cutting the timber on it, because that can generate funds, and we'll need to do that. Now, whether we want to clear cut or just cut part of it, but that's a renewable resource, and you know, I'm not sure many people want to hike a clear cut, but we could, if we're going to clear anything, we should make money off the trees.
well, definitely.
And maybe we want to clear a little bit more than just for them.
Yeah, because I had,
But that's, of course, up to the board.
because we said we would talk to the economic development folks about that, and we were going to invite them in to see what the possibilities are. We have the land.
For that specific property, you want to have the discussion?
Right. Mm.
The one that we did? Okay.
It probably needs to be all four that we had originally proposed 3 years ago.
Maybe we could do that and just invite them in. We can discuss what we need. There's no sense in pulling apart from each other. All right?
Yeah, if y'all recall, the 5 properties were the property that, between Bells Cove Road and Lodge Road was about a 1.5 acre. On the topographic map, it said gravel, very small lot of 1.5 acres. Doesn't have any right-of-way that I know of, and maybe part of it is a swamp. And the neighboring owners might be interested in purchasing that.
And we need to move on with that stuff. It's not of any asset value to the county at all right now.
Right, and then the east of Dameron's Marsh, the site there that is very wet a good portion of the year, and it's shallow water, so it's not really good access as far as water access. And it shares a boundary with Dameron Marsh, and DCR may be the good,
East of Dameron's Marsh gonna put you in the bay.
I'm sorry, west. I never did correct that. West of Dameron Marsh. Got me last time on that. West of Dameron Marsh. But it shares a boundary with the Dameron Marsh natural area, and that natural area preserve.
Yeah.
And I think they might be
Does
interested
that
in that.
get much in the way of traffic?
I mean, I've been down there in the summer, and there's a lot of skeeters, and so
A lot.
I would say it probably gets more use in the spring and fall than it does in the summertime. But there are people that go down there, and I've been to the canoe launch too. It scratched up my truck a little bit to get in there, but it's a very interesting place.
Yes.
But every year when I look at the tax maps, I see 25 feet of shoreline gone. And that's why it's so shallow around there, right? Because all that soil has been eroded and gets moved around by the currents. So that was one of the other properties. And then there's 6 acres on the left side of the entrance of Indian Creek. It's flat as a pancake, and it's like when you go down Indian Creek, the maintenance shed's on the right, and it's like right past that on the left-hand side. And I talked to Luttrell, we cannot figure out how we got that property, other than the fact that the sewage treatment plant, but it's not near any stream, so I don't know how it could be a sewage treatment plant, but I believe they gave it to us when they created the subdivision. But it's so far out of the central part of the county, I just don't know what it could be used for. And then the final one was that small lot in Newt Road in Indian Creek. I don't know if y'all recall that, but it was surrounded by houses. And the Board of Supervisors agreed that should be sold. They did go through with that and sell it to a neighboring landowner.
So we got one off the list. All
Yeah.
right, that's progress.
And we received $62,000 for that one.
Wow. Not bad. So if we proposed turning the other one at the entrance to Indian Creek into some sort of landfill, unless somebody bought it from us, do you think that would improve the market?
Well, we could put a gravel pit there and sell mulch, like dollar stores and gravel. Yeah, I can't think of a county use for that property. I mean, it's on down at the end of the road and not centralized.
Well, I think we need to reiterate again. Remember when we discussed this 3 years ago, it was if you need to consider selling anything, these are the 5 you need to look at, and they have looked at it now. But it got sort of hung up a little bit in terms of moving forward. So I think that they need to go back at it. I mean, we've done our part, just move it. I mean, Economic Development Commission wants to see if we can draw the revenue to use as matching funds for tourism money. All perfectly relevant, but beyond our scope.
Well, if I'm recalling correctly, when we did this, Mr. Fisher was the chairman, and he had his notion was that we would use the money from the sale of properties for water access projects. And so the board's going to, I mean, I'm sure we could split the money or however it may be, but I do know that was what the Planning Commission said along with the recommendation was that if we could use that money for a future public water access project.
But in either case, it's beyond our jurisdiction. It's up to the
board's decision. Yes, sir.
I don't, water access projects are somewhat problematic because most of the shoreline is privately owned.
Yeah.
So finding something that the county owns, that we can that's not already water access.
Hampton Hall.
That's it. And
I recall Junior had some other place in mind, closer to his end of the county.
Could have been that on Mill Creek.
Say what?
Could have been that parcel on Mill Creek.
That might.
That's next to Dameron's Marsh.
Well,
That's frontage on Mill Creek.
what Mr. Fisher stated, if I recall, is that there's no powerboat ramp from Ingram Bay Marina down to Windmill Point. So, I mean, there's a canoe kayak launch at Dameron Marsh, but there's no place you can launch a outboard large boat between, I guess the Chesapeake Boat Basin would be closer than Windmill Point. But,
Up in Indian Creek.
A long ways up the creek.
yeah.
He was considering some sort of a fisherman's museum when we discussed it. Do you recall this?
I don't.
I'm sure that was years ago, because if we were to sell anything, the county has much more pressing financial issues now than water access. So.
Yeah.
Find different use for that money.
So maybe this was referred back to the EDC and us by the Board of Supervisors. Maybe we need to send it back to the Board of Supervisors and say, we're good to go with those 4 pieces of property.
Good to go where?
Sell it.
Except the poorhouse, you don't want to.
Except the poorhouse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, we've already sold one, so that's three.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
The poorhouse that's a large chunk of land. And just selling it lock, stock, and barrel in one thing might not be economically optimal. Smaller chunks, a series of smaller chunks will become greater than the whole would be if it was sold that way. So that's kind of the thing that we were talking about when we did have that joint meeting. Although I think I was the only EDC representative other than Robert here that night.
Well, right now, that's our,
And that was really the point of the whole thing is, should it be cut up and sold in smaller pieces, or should it be sold as a whole? You know, because if you wanted to reclaim the poorhouse lot, you know, you've got the west side of the road there, of Dodley, that's, from everything that Stuart's pointing out, it doesn't participate in the notion of what historians that would want to do a history tour here would think of as the poorhouse. They're interested in where people were, what they were doing, and that's all on the eastern side of the road there. So you could automatically, you say, well, we could take care of the west side of that lot and come up with something intelligent. Now, we were talking about just a few minutes ago, taking that, to put the pet place, the animal place there. But if you slice and dice it up appropriately, you know, automatically when you've got putting animals over there, you created an environment for light industrial. Yes, it's true, we don't have the power there right now. So that means somebody's going to have to do something to correct and make more usable and more attractive, but it would be nice to be able to sell some property or provide it as an incentive for businesses to move in here. That's the kind of thing that we were thinking about.
Mr. Brand, if we have a large parcel of land such as that we had wanted to look at what Maurice is talking about, do we have a developer we can turn to say, give us some idea of what we could do up here and what it would be worth? I mean, how do we go out? I mean, clearly the Planning Commission doesn't have the authority or the resources to do that ourselves. Who would help the Board of Supervisors with that?
I would lean on maybe one or two of the real estate agents. I don't know of a developer in the county. We got appraisers.
yeah, your appraiser might be your best bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they can do subject to subdivision and all that other stuff.
Okay. Well, I think once we get the feedback from the historic people that you're meeting with, Stuart, we'll know more about what we got there, but I think that this needs to go back to the Board of Supervisors to figure out what's the value.
And we're happy to help any way we can, but it's kind of we've got a ball to play, what do we want to do with it?
It may be worthwhile for the EDC to also get somebody from I don't know which state agency even has jurisdiction, to go look at it from a tourism perspective. Is this an interpretive hiking trail, for example? You know?
Yeah, they probably want to come actually look at it, because it sounds like, with some of what Stuart's saying, is that the value may have been tilled under.
Yeah, and it's good to know that, so we know what we're dealing with. So I think what Stuart's getting, if you can get with Robert and see if you can find somebody that can do that, and then we can figure out where to go after those two items. That makes sense.
Yeah. Stuart, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we've gone as far as we can go with that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And number three we were going to talk about tonight was, I need 2 volunteers from the commission to work on the CIP plan, the capital improvement plan.
I volunteer.
Volunteer any more?
I'll do it again if nobody else wants to.
Mr. Basie said that we'll start meeting in February, and if you recall from past years, we probably had 4 or 5 meetings.
Right.
And I'll be in touch with you all regarding that. The chairman is a de facto member, so it'll be Mr. Cost, Ms. Wilkins, Corey, and Mr. Parker.
Okay. Is that fine? Is that okay with everybody? Okay?
Absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Board of Supervisors report.
At the board meeting, the public hearing section, they discussed the sun shelters, additional discussion on the sun shelters, and Mr. Fisher didn't seem to be really for it. Mr. Williams was kind of, why can't we have sun shelters? So I'm not sure, that they still weren't sure how to move forward. Mr. Long's asked to postpone it for another month, and they're going to invite Jeff Madden from the Virginia Marine Resources Commission to come and speak about the sun shelters. So there was no decision made on that, and that was the only public hearing.
They didn't hand it back to us, did they?
No, they're not. They did ask the vote on it, and I did say it was unanimous. And so maybe next month.
All right. Okay. That was it.
Just before we get off the Board of Supervisors, and really John and Stuart, question. Did you get a feel for how excited the supervisors were for a animal shelter, large-scale project?
Better question for Mr. Brand. My sense, though, is that there was certainly good, they were glad to be aware there was a problem. They agree there was a problem. It was not clear what the solution was, and they were going to try to hammer it out at the meeting. I said, maybe there's a better way to do this. There was clearly interest, though. There's that building, I visited the site right after that board meeting, reported back to the supervisors that first thing we need to do is get the county building inspector out there, because right now they're holding this thing together with Scotch tape. And so the building guy went out, I think the following week. I have not heard the report, but it is a mess. It's terrible. So something's got to be done.
He may just shut it down, in which case we got a problem.
That apparently did not happen, so.
Okay.
Because the site visit was would have been mid-December.
They're building a new animal shelter in Middlesex, Lancaster, right?
There's a few in here. Right? They put a new one in Westmoreland as well.
Yeah, it would be probably worth it to just,
The one in Lancaster is private.
yeah, one that likes to private. Oh, boy.
I suggested that they go talk to somebody who's got roughly the same size and get their plans, so we know what we're dealing with.
And they're on a 33-acre lot there in Lancaster. And that's been privately, I mean, they've been fundraising for that for 10 or 15 years, but, and now they have a building.
That's the way to get it done. All right. Are there any public comments?
Any public?
Any public, okay. How about any commissioners? Do you have anything else? Okay.
I had something, one of your topics. Sure. Stuart, if you don't mind, the parcels of land that y'all talking about, can you give a fluctual on that to get that on our agenda for February?
Okay.
That's something we need to move forward with. Nothing. The board needs to see the total value of those properties like we had up on the screen.
Yes, sir.
What could be coming back into the county, and I think that would be a little extra push to let's move forward with getting rid of those properties. And you talked a little bit on timber a while ago. How does the county know that they're not losing money on the timber that we have on county property? And what I'm getting at is trees can get disease, they can die. How do we know that the standing timber that's on these properties may not be diseased, that actually need to be harvested now? Because in the future, we're going to lose that money.
got to have a timber cruise.
It's going to cost some money to get an arborist out there to assess the forest, I believe.
Forestry Department does a lot of things, and I don't know if they have someone that could do that to assist us.
I know that there are private
There are.
timber surveyors.
They are, John Magruder in Tappahannock.
Daniel Dietz here in
Yeah,
Cali.
Daniel works for John. But my thing of it is, we're sitting here talking about money. We don't want to waste money, we don't want to lose money. So how do we know we're not losing money if we don't know what kind of timber we have or what kind of condition it's in?
To a degree, I think this ties into what Mr. Fisher was talking about at the last meeting about land use planning, and between the amount of agriculture and the amount of forestry land, staggering numbers. To the extent agriculture is generating property tax revenue, maybe not enough, that's a different matter. Forestry is not generating hardly anything.
But timber still needs to be managed.
Exactly. So the point being, let's turn basically non-performing assets into something that gives us money, and we get a lot of it.
And can continue to give us money.
That's right.
I mean, if we timber and we reforest.
Right, and you have to have a management plan if you harvest.
Right.
And, you know, we, not only are we looking at what we can do now, but set the county up for another 25 years down the road, further down the road, because some timber grows faster than another. I think pine grows faster than hardwood, but, that just come to mind a while ago, was, you know, we could be losing money.
A lot of times the companies that come in and harvest for you and do the cruising, they will come up with a plan for you.
Yes, we will.
But to Mr. Brand's point, nobody knows how old these trees are, what their expected life is. And for all I know, they're fire hazards. So,
A lot of hardwood trees, as they age, they start dying in the middle and they become hollow trees. Well, they know they serve no purpose in the logging industry.
and pine has a relatively short lifespan expectancy.
That was just something,
But that's what the rescue squad did. We had about 15 acres, and we just went ahead and harvested it because we knew it was time. So it's doable.
Did you have it surveyed, or how did you go
The
about doing that?
logger,
Yeah, nobody's gonna log it with their survey.
yeah,
Yeah.
he came down. I'm pretty sure they did something like that, but and it didn't take them long. I mean, yeah.
No, I understand a capable timber surveyor can, maybe a day or two when he comes back with an estimate.
Yeah, we had something like that done. I don't remember quite well now, but we had somebody that was in charge of that. They took care of it. So. Okay. All right. All right, I thank you all.
At the meeting.
Okay. If you're ready to adjourn or stay another hour, it's okay with me.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, second. Thank you, everybody.